Hi, Colister here with another Namco arcade long play. Today, I will be playing Splatterhouse, which is probably the most iconic arcade game by Namco released in the year 1988. Advisory warning, this game is not for the faint of heart. It has graphic violence, blood and gore, some disturbing images, and some references to religion. There are also some parts of the game that have flashing screens. While this game is not super vulgar, I would still advise viewer discretion. So, the demo or a tract of this game shows a scene where the protagonist, Rick, and his wife, Jennifer, are running into a house during a thunderstorm, and all of a sudden, disaster strikes. During the game, Rick adorns this possessed mask that helps him navigate and fight his way through the house in order to destroy the evil within. As you can see, this is not a pretty looking game. So, hey, I warned ya if you're not familiar with this game. So, let's begin, shall we? Alright, so Rick wakes up with the mask on, and in the story, the mask helps him navigate his way through the house to find the evil within. It definitely does that in the sequels it got on the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive in Japan and Europe. It's not easy to jump over the sludge piles, so I just wait for them to disappear. There are various weapons you can pick up and use to your advantage, like the cleaver you see on this stage. There's also a board which smacks him up against the wall in a bloody mess. Be careful about these guys, because their separated heads can attack you. And if you stay too long in an auto-scroller, a void will come after you and get you if you're not fast enough. An easy way to get past the boss scene in the first stage with these giant leech creatures is to stay on the left side and spam kicking, like I'm doing. And after you get rid of all of them, one more randomly comes out of the body you see in the upper left corner, like that. At the start of a new stage, you get 1 hit point back. Ordinarily, you would have 4 hit points and have 5 maximum. You can play with 6 with the customized game options. And, well, I'm a pansy casual player. This game is not that hard once you get the hang of it, though still challenging. There are much harder games by Namco and elsewhere in the arcade lineup. This water cellar scene is easy. Some items that you can pick up are up against the wall. Pick them up by pressing the up direction. You just gotta watch out for the floating spikes and jump over them as they come. In this scene, the candles on the chandelier fall, and there are also jars of some kind that fall as well. You can deflect them with attacks. Next, you gotta fight the chair, which suddenly comes alive. And then the 3 knives. Punching a knife by the blade. Yeah, that's totally safe, Rick. Real safe. And then finally, the portrait of the eyeball. After you beat that boss, the chandelier collapses. If you're directly underneath it, it kills you instantly, so just move out of its way. The shotguns in this stage can be quite useful. To do the slide kick, jump while moving forward, then hold the down direction, and press the attack button as soon as Rick lands. The sliding attack does more damage than the standard attacks. If you get caught directly underneath the spotlights on the bridge, you'll get dragged down and go into a sub-area, like the water cellar from the previous stage. Stay away from them if you want to beat the game as quickly as possible. There is also a cheap trick you can do with the shotgun, which I am going to do, because it makes the boss a lot easier. You just trade out between them until you get to the boss, and you can take it down easy. Throwing spears or harpoons. If you're not quick about the blobs, they spit acid. Gotta watch out for guillotines here. As you progress through this hallway of mirrors, there are 3 Rick doppelgangers that'll bust out of one of them and attack you. The exact mirror that they come out of in question can be different for each playthrough. 3 hits on the doppelgangers will defeat them. I recommend punching as soon as they come out and then doing jump kicks. You might still get hit even if you do it that way. Luckily, I'm not as bad at dealing with them as some other people are. This is where the religious references are. This boss scene where you go up against a corrupted cross. You get an axe to deal with it. And then after that, Rick prays at a church-like scene. Until he hears Jennifer screaming for her life. Use the board to go up against the chairs here. The inclined pieces of floor on this part of the stage are slippery, so while going down the downward slopes, jump back onto it before jumping off to dodge the hands. This stage has some different routes you can possibly take. I'll go this way. I think we might be too late. Now Rick's forced to fight his own wife in monster form. Back up after each hit to dodge the extender claws. After she transforms again, she'll start jumping shorter distances every so often. And in the third phase, she'll dash towards you instead of jumping, usually. Approach her carefully and punch her quickly while this happens. Sadly, Rick couldn't save Jennifer's life. There's still more that needs to be done, though. This stage is super annoying. It looks easy, though it's not. These bubbles can corner you and damage you very easily, and if they land before you burst them, they transform into monsters that'll latch onto you and whittle your health down quickly. This stage is where less experienced players would tend to give up, if they spam continues. This boss erupts slime after you defeat it, so back up after you do before it does so. This is the final stage. Stage 7 is Stage 3, with the scene on fire. You just gotta jump over flaming logs and stop before moving under these jumping, flaming bodies. Then you come to this gravestone, and the mask activates some kind of power that brings the real villain of the story to life, and you fight him. During the battle, its arms will come up and try to claw you, and after it rises back out of the ground, shrapnel from the ground will fall and will damage you on contact. The boss is invincible while it is emerging from and descending into the ground. If both arms come up at once, do a jump directly in between the middle of them to dodge. Warning, you're about to see a flashing screen. Look away if you're photosensitive. Then after that, the mask shatters, and we get staff credits. And with that wraps up the long play of Splatterhouse, a 1988 arcade game by Namco. Definitely a horror game, at best. This game would later get a couple of sequels on the Sega Genesis or the Mega Drive in Japan and Europe, though I've never played those. I've only watched them played by other people here on YouTube before. If I ever get the Namco Museum My Arcade microplayer, I will have a chance to play the second game in the series. Anyway, consider subscribing or at least checking out my channel if you like Namco arcade games and to watch other people play them, because I've played a lot of their games and have a good number of their games available for viewing in long play form on my channel for being on YouTube for not that much longer than a month. From the fan favorites like Pac-Man and Galaga and Dig Dug to more obscure ones like Ordyne or Genpei Tomaden. For the most part, I will be playing as many of those games on my channel at some point as possible. And if you like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I am playing every cup in that game on the max speed level in Grand Prix mode, which I'm keeping up to date regularly as well. Every so often, I might throw in some other games here and there to do long plays of as well. And then, after the credits, you see the mask spontaneously reassemble and laugh grimly, which of course teases the later sequels that Namco would later make. I am Krolister, the Master of Ponage. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next upload.